Ukraine faces serious challenges due to a shortage of manpower on the front lines, while Russia uses brutal and expensive tactics to increase the pressure on Kiev's defences, Business Insider reports. Dara Massicot, a senior fellow in the Russia and Eurasia Program at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, recently returned from a research trip to Ukraine, where she met with Ukrainian units facing troop shortages and many other problems. What the units are experiencing from the Russians is a significant strain from Russian tactics, Massicot said, on a podcast by the Center for Strategic and International Studies. She noted that the Russians are constantly, day and night, attacking Ukrainians in very small groups. It's death from 1,000 cuts. It's very stressful for units that are understaffed. Russia's small-scale assaults, known as meat assaults, have always been a problem for Ukraine, but they are now making the situation particularly difficult because of the manpower shortage. To address the issue, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenski lowered the minimum age for mobilization from 27 to 25. But the Biden administration is pushing to lower the age further to increase the pool of people available for conscription. So far, Kiev has resisted that step. However, personnel problems are not unique to Ukraine. Russia also has problems with mobilization. Although these problems are less urgent than Ukraine, Moscow suffers significant losses on the battlefield, raising questions about the ability to supply the troops in the future. This human wave tactic is proving extremely expensive. Experts at the Institute for the Study of War note that Russia's commitment to maintaining a high level of activity on the front is placing a huge strain on its human resources. The limited labour pool is unlikely to withstand this level of losses in the medium term, the updated war report said. Russia suffered its heaviest losses of the war in November, averaging more than 1,500 soldiers a day, according to the UK Ministry of Defence. The total for the month was about 46,000. November was the most expensive month for the Russian military and the fifth in a row in which its losses have increased. The high casualty rate probably reflects the intensity of Russian operations, the UK Defence Ministry said, adding that Moscow was likely to continue losing more than 1,000 soldiers every day. Russia is using Soviet tactics in which any gains justify even significant losses. Troops are thrown in wave after wave, depriving Ukrainian units of the opportunity to rest. This tactic was observed in the battles of Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Pokrovsk, and other cities. The Russian leadership has demonstrated its willingness to bear these losses in a long campaign that benefits Russia because of its numerical superiority. Ukraine, on the other hand, has fewer resources for such a fight. Massicot stressed that Russia is still putting enormous pressure on Ukrainian troops despite high casualties. Losses do not lead to the end of this tactic.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has apologized to his Azerbaijani counterpart Ilham Aliyev over the tragic incident in the Russian airspace involving Azerbaijan Airlines plane that crashed in Kazakhstan on December 25. The Kremlin said Putin called Aliyev on Saturday, December 28. In a statement posted on its website, the Kremlin stated that as the Azerbaijani plane attempted to land in Russia's Grozny city, Russian air defense forces repelled the Ukrainian drone attacks on Russia. At this time, Grozny, Mozdok and Vladikavkaz were attacked by Ukrainian combat unmanned aerial vehicles, and Russian air defense systems repelled these attacks, the statement reads. However, there was no comment in the statement about Russian air defense systems hitting the plane. Azerbaijan Airlines passenger plane flying from Baku to Grozny crashed in Kazakhstan's Aktau city on December 25 after it was denied landing in Grozny and another two Russian cities of Makhachkala and Mineralnye Vody. 29 of the 67 passengers on board survived the crash. The survivors reported hearing explosions outside of the plane, and video footage from the crash site showed traces of shrapnel in the cabinet and fuselage, suggesting that the plane had been struck.